Hi, this is Anna Van Hoeft, and you're listening to Mark Who 42.
Welcome to Mark Who 42's universe here on Subspace Radio, the Geekcast Radio Network, markwho42.com, and Florida Geek Scene, and everywhere around the web, audible.com. Anywhere you go, you'll find us. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten, and we've got a great show for you today. But let me introduce our regulars on the show. First, we have
Eduardo M. Freyre, resident Marvel zombie.
Yes, Ed, and you're perfect for this show because we're going to go Marvel on this. You look marvelous, simply marvelous.
No.
Hey, if you read our show description on Facebook, it's right there. You look marvelous.
Don't ever do that again. No.
Okay, I won't write it
Never.
The next time I do it. Okay. We also have on our show
Vicky Jakubowski.
Hi, Vicky.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Hi, Vicky.
You feeling better?
I am surviving.
Are you feeling better? Because I know you were sick for the longest time.
I was. I'm getting there.
You had the C. You had not the CC, but
Yes.
the other C. You had the CV.
Yes.
You don't have the big C. You had the
Well,
CV.
I have a CV, but
Okay.
yes.
You have
no, I'm
ACV
definitely
as well.
on the mend.
think
I
we
have
all
ACV as well. Yes, that's absolutely correct.
I think we all have CVs.
But
I had the CV
Oh,
in October
Lord.
of 2020, so I beat all of you. Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm lucky. I got a fairly mild version, and I responded very well to medication.
Good.
Yep. No,
Excellent.
I had a mild version too. It just felt like the usual annoying colds that I seem to get in a yearly cycle.
That's
it
like
is
what my husband got.
basically the basic baseline is like a cold, and then it goes up from there. But yeah, I don't know if you guys know what we're talking about, but of course you do. We live in this era. But I'm not going to spell it out because that's too easy to talk about.
Anyway.
Anywho.
But I'm like
on topic.
Off topic. Okay. Well, no, we're starting the show. We're getting everyone to know who we are and what we do and all about ourselves. And now
we're trying. Well, no, we're trying to, and then you're making bad jokes about the coronas.
Oh, okay. Now you say coronas. You gave it away. Okay. So
everybody already knew. I think
right.
there's a bunch of people listening who are like, that joke, the joke in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Get on with it.
Okay, so that was our opening banter for the day. So we had some opening banter. Now let's go to the show proper. We're only 4 minutes. We're only 3 minutes in the show. We didn't go too bad on that. Today's show, and we did the Marvelous joke because we're talking about Ms. Marvel. Yes, the smash hit on Disney Plus that came out, the Marvel Cinematic Universe TV show. And to lead the discussion, like he said, the Marvel zombie expert himself, Ed. Ed?
Yep. Just because there are some people who are not as Marvel zombied as you or I, Vicky, or even Mark. The Miss Marvel we're talking about is not Carol Danvers.
No.
Who was introduced into the MCU as Captain Marvel. We're talking about the latest.
Yeah, we're not talking about the 70s Ms. Marvel. We're
shush!
Talking about, all right.
No interrupting. Yeah, we're talking about the latest Miss Marvel who made her debut more recently, and it's Kamala Khan. For those who don't know, she's a young Pakistani American teenager who, one day developed superpowers, and she was already a fan of Carol Danvers. So it's, I think it's fair to say that Kamala's story is one of wish fulfillment.
Yeah.
Dream come true.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. For those, something that we will be getting into more in our review, but something that needs to be said is in the comic books, she got her powers as a result of having inhuman genes in her DNA. Mm-hmm. She was one of several characters who got their powers thanks to the fact that the Inhumans' Terrigen Mists was kind of floating around the planet for a while.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's not exactly what happened in the show. We will get to that because when that scene happened, I was like, what? I'm like David Tennanting. I'm like, what? Did they actually say that word?
They did that little bit of a marriage of the two because you have some licensing issues that are still going on to this day.
Yeah.
Well,
they're getting ready for the licensing issues to end, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah. Well, we'll get more into it. Like I think we'll get more into it. I just got to say that I was in love with this show from episode 1. Like I got into the I loved, like, again, it was wish fulfillment, I mean, she's, I love how it presented, like when they would do, like she's a daydreamer, so you'd have her, you'd have all these doodles and stuff as she's walking around, and I'm like, wow, this is actually kind of cool. Yeah, this is actually kind of cool, and it's it very well done, and it just gave the series like this great sense of fun and
and it gave
positivity.
A very sense of now.
Yes,
where if you're going to think about a typical teenager, and so I have a confession to make. The first episode I was watching it while I was dealing with a crisis at work at the same time. Not fair to the series. So I was just like, I had an angsty issue going on elsewhere, and then an angsty teenager. I'm like, I can't handle this. But I went back, rewatched it, and enjoyed it much better the second time.
Well,
I'm like, okay.
It's funny that you say angsty, because she was angsty, but not angsty.
Right.
I mean, you see what I'm saying? It's like her teenager problems were Jersey
City.
Yeah, exactly.
And she was caught between multiple worlds.
Yeah.
Figuratively and literally. And she just didn't know it yet. But it was so funny that they really made it feel like, and knowing some teenagers in my life, it felt like it fit with the way that life is now. And I like the way that you had Zoe being an Insta star, and you had all this, the social media and all that. It fits, because if you didn't have it, it wouldn't be today.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. This is what it means to be a teenager today. Yeah. And her creativity and her videos, very well done. I really enjoyed
that opening segment. I
yes!
love the opening.
Oh, yeah.
Folks, I don't know, you can't see this, but I'm sitting in front of a picture of the opening sequence right now. All the cutout animation and stuff she did of the Avengers and Captain Marvel and fighting. And I think they were fighting Endgame.
Yes, I believe it was supposed to be Endgame.
Yep. And something that one of the things I like is the fact that we're kind of introduced. I mean, this is post Endgame, and we've had a lot of talk about some of the issues post Endgame, like with the blip and people displaced by the blip, and and the economic snafus and whatnot. But it was interesting, I kind of like that we got this different angle now with Kamala, how there are people out there that the Avengers are kind of like these new sort of quasi celebrities, like, in this world, it's not only the Kardashians and the
Right.
and the
do
music
your
stars.
selfie with the Hulk. You want to
exactly.
You want to go to AvengerCon.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to go to
AvengerCon.
I know.
I mean, yeah. And you know that Coulson would probably just jump at the chance to go to AvengerCon and just host it. Heck, I even think Smart Hulk would probably enjoy going to AvengerCon.
I do like the way that this is right there in the middle of the world that we already have of the MCU.
Yes.
They didn't try to make something different, separate. There's so many ways they could have gone with this. And even though they did make some tweaks to the comic, I think that they kept faithful to the spirit and they made it fit within the MCU in such a way that, what would a comic book convention be like if the Avengers were real?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Oh, that's a whole different ball game. It's not just going to a convention to go meet with the actors and stuff. Oh Lord, this is actual
imagine if like an actual Avenger were to show up, or like I know in the comics the Avengers had a nice big support group of people. Imagine if they, like you probably couldn't get an Avenger to come to AvengerCon, but then imagine, we have Jarvis, Jarvis is here, there would be Jarvis, someone would be like,
who was the guy signing signing his autograph? There was a character that looked like a low-level superhero type thing that was signing autographs at AvengerCon. It was just a momentary blip.
He was a writer, wasn't he? A writer of a book on.
Yeah. You know what? I would have to go back.
I think I might have to go back and rewatch it again because I'm just like,
because it could be
things.
Yeah, but I could see.
Well, there were so many Easter eggs. There were so many Easter eggs in Avengers Con.
Oh yeah. Well, I know that Zoe's outfit felt very much like a callback to.
Wasn't that like the 70s?
Yeah, it was a call. It felt like a callback to the. Yeah, it felt a callback to Carol's original outfit, which.
Right.
For those,
so when Kamala says that's not even accurate in the MCU, it isn't.
No, exactly. But it's a great kind of, because I know that the 70s she had Carol Danvers had three technically two outfits. One was a red and blue that had no legs. And had kind of this.
Okay, I think I remember that one.
Yeah, too. It had a cutout. It had a cutout along the midriff. That one then got replaced with That one got replaced with the same basic outfit, still with no legs, but then the midriff was covered. Then we had the outfit that she wore the most in her Miss Marvel / Warbird phase. Which is the one with the blue bathing suit type thing, the sash around the around the shoulders, knee-high boots, the gloves, the mask. It's so her Zoe's outfit was very much like a nod to that, that
it does
era.
Sometimes make you laugh when you look at the evolution and sometimes de-evolution of the costumes of all the characters, not just the female characters. I will say that I feel like more of the costumes in the comic books are actually something you could actually wear.
Yeah,
you could actually pull off.
Well, and I mean, Vicky, have you seen Cosmic Boy from Legion of Superheroes? Have you seen his outfit from the 70s or so? I think it was a 70s
no, it's
outfit.
Gotta be bad.
70s, early 80s, late 70s.
Was it?
I think
was it early 80s? Was it that
late
far
70s,
in?
Late 70s.
Probably about 70. Well, about 70s ish.
Okay, maybe I'm off by a couple of years.
Okay, is
Cosmic
Boy
one
where it's kind of
it looks kind of like he's wearing a futuristic corset.
Yes, I'm looking at it.
It's like this black corset. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
exactly. So it's like, so yeah, even
yeah.
Ah, the 70s.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I guess it would have to be if it's
Yeah.
Frankenfooterish. Yeah.
Actually, it's interesting. I just found a picture that kind of shows the evolution of his costume. He goes from a full body suit to less and less clothes to back to a full body suit.
Yeah.
And you just kind of go, oh, some of those look really uncomfortable.
Well, and then don't forget and then we've got Hercules, who in the 80s, he had an outfit which was basically brown trunks, this green kind of leather or something like harness, and then like boots, and then I think he had gauntlets on the, but yeah, it was this like almost bondagey thing
that is like, oh, that just feels really uncomfortable, but that is a given. That over the years there have been some costumes that you just go, I'm not even complaining about how much skin it shows. I just going by the fact that it either defies gravity, defies comfort, or how do you fight wearing that thing?
You know what? That's basically that's kind of one of those things. That's how I feel about Scarlet Witch's gypsy outfit from like the late 90s. It's a cool outfit. And it's kind of cool that Busick and Perez had her tapping into her roots, but at the same time, it's like, okay, number one, how do you not get cold? And number two, when Perez mentioned that she's commando, I'm just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, we don't need that one.
It's like, okay, George.
Let's talk about Power Girl then. No,
Power Girl. Oh, with the
open
the window, the cleavage
window.
Yeah,
that's
one. Yeah.
There's definitely some that, and they'll look really good on the page, because you can make something look really amazing when you're drawing it two-dimensional. Although there are definitely some, because the little window goes from being tiny to big to tiny to big.
Yeah, depending on the artist. Yeah,
depending on the artist. And I've seen some people cosplay as it, but it's very difficult to do and wear all day.
Yeah,
because we have this thing called gravity. And it's one of those things that I've always laughed over the years about some of the costumes. And hey, I get it. I don't knock anyone's artistic endeavors, but sometimes it's like, seriously, thank you for putting that little scrap of material there, because I'm sure she's quite thankful for it as she's trying to kick butt and save the universe.
Yep. But getting back
bringing it back to the MCU,
bringing it back to the MCU, to Miss Marvel. One thing that I do have to, say that I, as far as costumes are concerned, one thing I've always liked about Kamala's outfit is that she is, first of all, we got to remember she's a teenager.
Yeah.
And it is something that it's not a I'm trying to think of the right word to go here. It's not fetishy. It's not,
no.
Right.
It's not, it's not trying to, it's not trying to like, it's not like, I'm trying to think, how best to say this, but yeah, it's not, it's a teenager, but we still need to have that sexiness quotient, if that makes any sense.
I think that her final costume, which does match some of the comic books, I really liked it, because I could see someone actually being able to fight in it.
Yeah.
It actually being comfortable on some levels. And, I love the tennis shoes, for example.
Oh, yeah.
I would recommend to anyone trying to fight crime. Dear God, a pair of good tennis shoes will take you far.
Oh
now,
yeah,
if you have decent boots,
and plus, you know what? Plus, also, it's the fact that it feels appropriate for her.
Yes.
You know, it feels appropriate for her.
Not everybody wants to wear a swimsuit when playing a superhero.
Yeah,
so
no, exactly.
That gives you another level of cosplaying. Because I always look at it both ways. Both, what it looks like on the page, what it looks like on the screen, and what it would look like for me as a cosplayer.
Right.
I could do this. And then suddenly it's like, hold it, you can do a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, because, you mentioned, like, on the screen and cosplaying.
Yeah.
That I think is also like a major thing to think about, because it's one thing to be wearing an outfit, because you're cosplaying, because you're walking around a con floor and you're posing for pictures.
Right.
Yes.
If we're talking giving someone an outfit that they're supposed to like run around in, fight people in, like do a lot of strenuous activity.
Right.
There are some outfits that are just not going to if we want to take it from a real life perspective, I know this is fantasy, but if we want to take it from a real, a somewhat realistic perspective,
you're not going to be fighting crime in some of those outfits.
Yeah.
It would just never work.
I
don't
mentioned,
care how much double stick tape you have.
Yeah, no, well, it's kind of like I mentioned, Power Girl. I mentioned not Power Girl. It was Scarlet Witch's gypsy outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Again, on the page, it looks great. If a cosplayer wearing that, that's fine. But
how do you
honestly, do we see? Well, it's honestly, how would Elizabeth Olsen be able to run around with that on? It just would not. Right. It just would not work. She would not be able to do it.
No.
And it's like, and I'm sorry. I'm sure there are guys on the internet right now that it's like, no, I'm sure she could pull it off, or I'm sure this, I'm sure it could be pulled off if you get the right actress.
That Hercules costume and tell me how easy it is for you to do some
shaping.
Yes. But I think that's just one of the many things that is great about both the character and the show.
Yeah,
they did that so well, and I just
and
I love the fact that it's her mom who gave her the final costume.
Yes,
that was so awesome.
Isn't in the comic book the mother actually knew that she was going to finally tell her mother, and the mother actually knew Kamala?
Oh.
I think that happened in the comic, because I haven't read all the comics, but I know
me neither. But me neither. But
it kind of feels like it would fit with this character.
Yeah.
I think I read the first 20 issues or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I believe so. Don't quote me. But yeah, I do love that the mom. I do love that all the elements of her outfit came from the family.
Yeah.
Yes.
That like different members of the family contributed to it.
The father came up with the name.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Father came with it, which, by the way, he's adorable.
Oh, isn't he?
I just think he's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious.
And, oh my God, he's just such a sweetie dad.
Oh yeah, and then also just there are bits like the gossiping aunties.
Yes.
That's one of those things that as a, that like I think of my upbringing, my Cuban upbringing,
right?
And then seeing the gossiping aunties, I'm just like, oh my God.
You recognize it.
I recognize that. I recognize it. Yep. I recognize the gossiping aunties. I recognize, some, the poor dad trying to be like, I'll come with you as the Hulk.
That was fun. It's like, I like that.
It was like one of those things. I'm just like, dude, you're trying, and the fact that you're trying, you're really trying. Good for you. Like, and honestly, I'm just,
we're really trying, and we have to try to stop for a moment and take a commercial here. See, I find a segue for anything on Subspace Radio. We're going to come back. We're going to have much more to talk about Ms. Marvel for you to listen to and for us to enjoy talking about. We'll be right back right after this.
Yes, they'll listen, but they won't enjoy. The enjoyment is ours.
Oh, yes. No.
We'll be back with more of Mark Who 42's universe.
Ah, brave new world that has such putzes in it.
The Pull Bag is GCRN's comic book review and discussion-based podcast. Join me, your host, TFG and Mike, and the rest of the GCRN crew as we make our way through the comics we are reading. Inside the Pull Bag, you'll also find back-issue classics and origins episodes of how we got into comic reading. You can find the Pull Bag every Wednesday on iTunes and on www.geekcastradio.com. Make your great escape into comics and jump into the Pull Bag today.
Oh yes, but think of the fun.
You are listening to Mark Who 42's universe.
Welcome back to more of Mark Who 42's universe here on all those great places around the net, including Subspace Radio, where you're hopefully listening to us on the radio here. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten. With me today are Eduardo M. Freyre and Vicky Jakubowski, and we are talking Ms. Marvel. Ed?
No, it's Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel Ed is not a character. Do your research.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he got me there, folks. He got me there.
Boys.
I always get you. You will never win, sir.
For the win.
Anyway, we were talking about Camilla's family.
Yeah, Kamala's family, her mom, who, I mean, okay, she was a stereotypical mom, kind of just on top of her.
There's always this thing between mothers and daughters.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that she got to see that her mother went through her own phase.
Yes.
And I know many a mother who had a wild phase who tried to prevent their child from having one.
Bon Jovi.
Oh,
hey,
that's great.
Living on a
living on a prayer. Yeah.
Living on a prayer. Wanted, dead or alive.
Oh yeah.
No, we got to talk about the music on this. Between the Bollywood hits, the Pakistani hits, the Bon Jovi, Jersey City music backdrop.
Yep.
All of it was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it felt right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It did. It worked.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you feel like they're trying too hard. It just felt like, that was the perfect song to do there. And I actually have watched Bollywood hits. I enjoy Bollywood movies. I don't know.
I was in a Bollywood movie.
Taste.
Were you?
What?
Yeah.
What?
I was in a Bollywood movie.
That is so cool. Which one?
What to talk about?
Dastana.
Dastana?
Dastana. I was in Dastana.
Oh.
And you can actually see me in a couple of places.
How very cool.
Yeah, I was an extra on that.
I love that.
Did you dance?
No. I
would pay to see that.
I did dress up as one of the Beatles.
Wow.
I did dress up as one of the Beatles.
I'm sorry, I can picture that right now, and it just
you can picture me as one of the picture me as one of the Beatles.
I'm making you into Ringo. Is that okay?
I was not Ringo. I was Paul.
You think Bruno watched that movie?
Yes.
You know what? He probably I think he would probably watch it. He would probably watch it. Maybe the guys with the red scarves. That group. I'm
the
sure
Red
they.
Scarves. That's a great name for them, man. You come on, give us a name, man.
Oh shush!
Isn't it the Red Daggers?
The red daggers. Yeah, there you go. I remember the scarves.
Guys with the red scarves.
Well, I remember. That's what I remember. I remember the scarves. Jeez.
Okay, all right.
Give me a break here.
Anyway.
Okay.
Well, if we're going to start talking about the characters, I want to start with I want to talk about the actors. Iman, who plays Kamala, is a brand new actor. But she was you believed everything about her. Yes, she really is young.
Yep.
But, chances are she really isn't a superhero in disguise. So, this girl actually has acting chops, and you really rooted for her. And I don't know about you guys, but I fell in love with her. I think it was at the beginning of the second episode. I was just like, oh my God. Aside from the superhero powers, I was this girl. I understand this. Yeah. This makes perfect sense to me. And, we already know we love Dad and Mom. But her friends, Bruno, Nakia, I mean, these guys are fabulous.
Heck, I even got to give props to the head of the mosque.
Yes.
The head priest, the head religion. He's just I've actually had like priests like that who were just so
supportive.
So supportive, and so also like kind of just easy and easygoing and just very personable. So and that's the thing, I think, is the fact that we get an insight into Kamala's upbringing and everything that she has to go through, and that when you think about it, there's so much in common. There's so much that you can look at. At least I looked at and I'm like, yep.
I think so many people could just really identify with the character, even if our backgrounds are different. It's still, there's so much about what was going on there that made sense. I grew up in a second generation Polish Catholic family, and I get that. I get that, one foot in one world, one foot in the other world. And, so many things going on around you in the family, and how important tradition is, and everything else, and the expectations of your parents. And I think it's something most of us can identify with on one level or another.
No, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you get, definitely. But yeah, I got and like I said, I got the gossiping grannies. I got the, I got the, and I know about tradition.
Who doesn't have the gossip?
I don't think I have gossip.
You don't think you have gossiping grannies?
I don't think
because
so.
You haven't lived. I have
a very sheltered family. I don't think there's much craziness.
Oh, there's probably.
Are you sure you're human?
No, okay, no,
I'm sure. There probably is, Mark. You probably do have
recognize
craziness in the family. It's just that they're keeping it on the down low.
That could be it.
Because that's the thing.
Well, I don't have much family left anymore, so it's not like, it's got a couple of relatives. That's about it.
Yeah.
So
but oh man, what was I? Yeah, no. Geez,
the gossiping aunties, and
the gossiping.
I have to tell you that as soon as because initially the way the aunties were all like, this light girl nightlight thingy, she's an embarrassment to her family, and then they find
and then
out,
all of a sudden it's
and then they're like backing her, and it's like, woohoo, one of us, and it just so phenomenal the way that happened, which I will say in my family is very similar. People be like, oh, no. Oh, you're one of us? Of course. You're welcome to the family. We love you.
You know what? It also kind of goes back to, it's like, I've had, members of my family poo-poo like certain things.
Right.
But then if you do really well with that certain thing, then it's like, oh, congratulations, so-and-so, and then other times it's like, well, why can't you be like your older brother? Or why can't you be like your cousin?
I love that because, oh my God, that's just so true.
No, and then even the thing with preparing for the wedding, her older brother's weddings, it's like, yep.
Yeah, that very much reminded me of preparing for some of the big Polish weddings I've been to, including my own. And it's just, there's all these little things that happen, no matter how much you try to keep it simple. It's never simple.
Oh, please. Well, and then of course, when you have a huge family, it's like just a small ceremony. So it's like, okay, so we'll have,
250 to 300 people.
250. Right, exactly. It's like, so 200 people should be fine. It's like, we don't need 200 people. Or what are you kidding me? We have to invite so and so. We have to invite so and so. We have to invite my hairdresser. I don't know your hairdresser. Of course you do. They gave you the haircut that one time. I
had 1,000 wedding invitations because I'm from a very large family. Thank God I only had 250 people show.
Only. Yeah.
It definitely made it a lot easier that I was living far enough away that not everybody could come. So.
Yes, you know what? I feel you on that one.
We should probably get into the big baddies.
Oh, the Clandestine?
Yes.
The Clandestine.
Which by the way, if you are a
comic book fan?
If you're a comic book fan, you should recognize the name.
Yes. Oh, I did. I totally recognized it.
Okay.
Yeah. Characters were completely different.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, for anybody who didn't, there is a comic book. There was I think it was in the 90s.
Yeah,
they published it.
I had them.
The Clandestine was. I mean, the comics. They're a family of immortals, or at least long-lived individuals.
Right.
Which
is kind of the same.
Now, was that Mark? Since you read them,
a long time ago. Go ahead.
A long time ago, but was that Marvel UK or was that Marvel UK or regular Marvel? I think
it was Marvel UK.
Okay, yeah, because I know Alan Davis did the art.
Yeah, no, it did merge in, and there were crossovers into Marvel proper, but it started out as Marvel UK.
Yeah. So that's
a lot of things started as Marvel UK.
But that's the thing.
Interesting.
The thing for me is just that that may be also why the Clandestine in this series ended up looking so different. Because I don't know how like the rights with all the Marvel UK stuff, I don't know how like it works, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's like a little kind of I don't want to say shenanigans, but it would not surprise me at all if with the Marvel UK stuff you really can't, the MCU can't do it like exactly, like there has to be that kind of there has to be that kind of disconnect where it's like, okay, we can use the name but we can't use the same beats. But
I mean, there were some similarities, the fact that they were kind of immortal-ish and that they were a family, it was
that is true, but
kind of the same.
one thing like I said, they really didn't act like the bad guys. I mean, they were the antagonists.
Yeah,
well, I think that we did.
I think the bad guys were
realized.
Yeah. I think what it is, it's like their goal was, well, we want to go home. It's just they kind of, especially
but if they go home,
Kaman's mom was just so narrow-minded in it that she's just like, I want to go home, and it's like, well, it's going to destroy the Earth. Oh, well, too bad, so sad. It was cool. Yeah. It's like just so single-minded. Just so single-minded in it.
But when Kamala said, let me think about it because I'm not sure, she was, that's it.
Yeah. She let
was kind of evil.
Well, what it is
the
is
wedding. What the heck?
Well, what it is that she let her anger and her impatience get the better of her.
Yes. Okay, so maybe
that was
not
the thing.
A bad guy. Well,
it was one of those things that she was just, here you have this big thing where it's like, oh, I get to go home. And
then you're stopping her from going home.
Right, exactly. It's one of the things. It's like, there's the solution. It's right there. It's right there. But then, you have the solution. The person who holds the solution going, hang on a sec. I want to think about it. And so it's like, no, I don't want to hang on a sec. I've been here for like 100 years or like 200 years or something. I want to go now.
I think that's one of the downsides to being an immortal or an almost immortal.
Yeah.
Is that your idea of patience and your idea of doing things as it should happen, letting things happen and unfold as it should, it's waiting another 5 minutes. I absolutely can understand.
It's like I've waited yet. Yeah.
And it really felt like that's what she was saying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she had created this all or nothing, black and white. And I think that's where the clandestine in the Ms. Marvel world have become the big bad, because I mean, they even killed one of their own because they were so impatient that it kind of breaks your heart a little bit that they couldn't figure out how to how to do it better, how to people can coexist. Why does it always have to be that you have to destroy one to do the other, that you have to conquer this planet and eradicate the human race? Why can't there be this level of coexistence? And why is your need more important than everyone else? And that can make you the big bad. Although it'll be interesting to see what happens with Cameron's power. That because we see how it kind of hits him as she turns to, I can't really call that dust, I guess eventually it's dust, rock, dust,
sparkle, stardust. I don't know.
And somehow it goes. Yeah, there you go. I like that one. And somehow then the energy enters her son. But he has no control. She transfers it. But
because that's what she makes the comment right before she dies, that she can't
alter her son.
She can't alter.
And so you wonder, is he going to turn into someone who's bad because he can't control, he can't understand?
Well, in Cameron's, at least in Cameron's case, he does have a support system. Kamala, Kamala, came to him. He's now with the red daggers, and I, based off that scene in the finale, at least the red dagger that befriended Kamala is probably going to take him under his wing and just try to help him. Not to mention that absolute worst case scenario, we do have something out there that may be able to help. I think, does anybody mind if I pull the trigger on the big moment?
If you're talking about the very, very end.
At the end, before the credits.
Oh, I see. Oh, before the credits. Because I was going to say the thing in mid credits is after in the extras, because we have to have them come back for some reason. Okay. Just saying.
Wow. But no. Before the credits, we had a big we had a moment that it seems to have broken the internet. It seems to have broken social media when that happened. And that is that Bruno, when talking to, having one more chance to talk to Kamala, and also borrowing Cameron's car, and I use the word borrow loosely as the verdict is still out on that. He does say that, the MacGuffin for this was the bangle. There was a family heirloom,
and the genetics.
I was getting to that. The fact that we have the fact that there was apparently a genetic component to Kamala being able to use the bangle. And the thing is, Bruno uses the word mutation.
Yes.
So
it seems, I
was impressed that they said mutation.
So it seems that Ms. Marvel is the gateway to mutants in the MCU.
And they played a very small clip of the X-Men theme song.
Yes.
When he says that. And you're like,
they did.
Yeah. I heard it. I heard it, and I'm like, they went there.
They did. They're getting ready for the franchise. They're getting ready.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
It makes you really excited because we know this is all connected. From the comic book side of things, there's all this connection and everything else that we have not been able to enjoy so much in the MCU because of the licensing rights and everything. Yep. But I love the fact that it really is something in her, and the bangle just helped her focus it.
Yes.
Or awaken it, however you'd like to put it.
Which, and by the way, what did you think? I think the one thing, what does everybody think of Kamala's powers in the series as opposed to in the comics?
I actually kind of liked it.
Yeah. No.
I think visually it was very strong, and it kind of made more sense. Again, when you're taking something even from a comic book to a movie, you need something that might look perfectly fine in the comic book, and you can feel it and you can go, oh yeah. But then when you watch it in a movie, that doesn't always work. So the fact that on the screen we are getting this, and I like it that it's kind of a light power, and that it's I don't know. Okay, it's sparkly. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I love it because it's sparkly. I have a problem with sparkle.
It's so sparkly. I like it. It sparkles.
It's special.
Hey, don't knock the sparkles.
No, Mark, no.
My precious. Precious.
No.
Not my precious?
Oh.
No. Bad, Mark. Bad.
Well, it's sparkles. It sparkles.
Bad.
But I love the fact that it just and how it takes her a while. I enjoyed watching the progression of the uncontrollable to the controlled to the, by the end of it, she's got it going. She has her confidence. She has her strength. And I just, the things that she did in that final episode, you just go, wow, she now lets, instead of trying to control the power in a very strict kind of sense, she's allowing herself to feel the power and let it be what it needs to be at that moment. And I think when she finally stopped overthinking it, she suddenly had this amazing power that did phenomenal things. I mean, that overshield that she did above her and Cameron was just, it was just powerful. Gave us a moment for them to have that moment that they needed to, so that he knew that just because he can't control it right now doesn't mean that he can't get to where she is. He just needs the right support like she had. I think the fact that she had Bruno in the beginning and was with her every step of the way was phenomenal, because everyone needs that friend. Everyone needs that group. It's hard to be a superhero on your own. And now she's got this whole
team
community behind her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's the community. I didn't even think of that.
Which I mean, when Zoe just let out, she went on Insta, and she was just all, oh, I'm here at the school and all this, and everybody just rallying behind her.
That was so fabulous.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean, even we had, because I mean, we mentioned baddies, and I think that the bigger baddie was that lady from Damage Control.
Yeah, Department of
Damage. Oh my gosh!
Which even even then she was more like, I mean, her Deever, thing. Right? And then and by the way, her boss does come from the Marvel comics.
And he's also in Spider-Man.
Yeah,
the boss.
So I mean, the thing with Kiever is that she's more of a baddie, but even then, it was because of a sense of extremism.
Yes,
that she wasn't coming from a place of malice. She was coming from that place of, there's something dangerous. I want to take care of the dangerous thing. I have to take care of the dangerous thing. You don't understand. I'm taking care of the dangerous thing. Just shut up. Step aside. Let me take care of the dangerous thing.
And if you're that focused and that myopic and not realizing the big picture, and I mean, that's what her boss saw was, hey, you're in a freaking high school. You're shooting at teenagers.
Yeah.
Could you stop?
Yeah.
No, or even when she comes,
it's being put on the web. Everyone's filming
Yes.
Yes. Well, not to mention even before when she goes looking for Cameron at the mosque.
Yeah.
It's like
it's
like one of those things. It's like if I was there, I'd be like, can we step outside for a moment? You're in a mosque.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about finding a dangerous person. Mm-hmm. Do you realize the optics of this?
I love that bit.
Like, do you realize the optics?
She describes the person she's looking for, and they're like, "Well, that's everyone here."
Yeah, it's like, lady, you're gonna narrow. Yeah, you gotta narrow it down, sweetheart.
You know, it just her lack of focus, actually.
Yeah.
And it's just, well, okay, I'm just going to assume, it's the guilty before proven innocent. It's the, just making assumptions. And
again, just, it's not, it's that laser focus. So she's not thinking about, maybe coming in hard is not a good idea. Because again, she's walking into a freaking mosque and saying, "I'm looking for a dangerous person," and it's like, man, lady, stop.
There's a reason
Listen to yourself.
Grandmas say you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. You know, it just you just, and it's such an easy thing to do, but it's also that again being very relevant, and. And we've seen this in the universe of the X-Men, the mutants, the Inhumans, all the various other Marvel superheroes, where there's always somebody who's convinced that just nope, it's just going to be all bad and all wrong, and you just kind of go, I'm sorry, what?
Yes, no, definitely
not a good idea. And in some ways, although yes, if the Clandestines had their way, they would have inadvertently, destroyed the earth as we know it. It's kind of hard to not say that the big baddies really were the specific agent and everyone who followed under her, because she's destroying the world. Less obvious, more insidious.
Yep. And actually, here's a question I wanted to ask the group. So they were using a lot of sonic-based weaponry.
Yes.
Do you think that's similar to the sonic weaponry that General Ross tried to use against the Hulk in Incredible Hulk?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's the same technology.
Yeah.
I would agree with that one.
Yeah, because the minute I saw it, I'm like,
I found that fascinating.
Yeah. Well, the minute I saw it, I'm like, oh, somebody's been going through S.H.I.E.L.D.'s closet. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if they were like, well, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s, kind of disbanded. So, we're just gonna,
somewhere full of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Can I say that S.H.I.E.L.D. may have disbanded, but we're not going to disband. We're just going to take a break, except for those of you at Subspace. If you're listening on Subspace Radio, that's all the time we have. But please go to the web and find the Mark Who 42's Universe podcast, which is available all on the podcast platforms, Florida Geek Scene, Geekcast Radio Network, markwho42.com. If you go there, you can listen to more of this great conversation, so we're not disbanded there. And we will talk about, at some point during this thing, so you have reason to come, mid-credit sequence of episode 6, which is amazing. I have to talk about it. So we'll be back, or you're leaving. This is Mark Baumgarten, Eduardo M. Freyre, Vicky Jakubowski, and hang on, and we'll be back.
Hang on? We now have a fourth person named Hang On?
No!
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay, everybody, we'll be right.
We'll be back with more of Mark Who 42's Universe.
Because the world needs another movie podcast.
The Geekcast Radio Network presents for your listening pleasure the Cinema Geek.
Hosted by Amanda, Kevin, Matt, and Dan.
Each week we dive headfirst in the landscape of movies as we discuss movie news, play movie games,
go in-depth on reviews,
and even have a top 10 countdown or two.
Also, don't miss our director retrospective series, where we review noted directors' movies film by film. Bottom line is, if you love movies and love podcasts, you need to experience the Cinema Geeks.
You can find us on iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, or geekcastradio.com.
Yeah, you're still listening to us here on Mark Who 42's Universe podcast. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten. We have Eduardo M. Freyre, Vicky Jakubowski, and we're talking all about Ms. Marvel. Hopefully you've been listening to the first 2 parts of this show. If you're coming from Subspace, thank you for stopping by on the podcast version. And now we are going to go to Eduardo M. Freyre, who is going to take over this conversation. That way he can't make fun of me by what I just said. Okay, Ed.
No, I can still make fun of you.
But that's another story.
You know what? I might just be the bigger man in this little case because you know what? I'm nice like that.
Yes, you are.
But
you're the
just
bigger man, and I'm not going to comment.
Well, there are so many places you could go with that comment, but you don't
know.
Have to. But you know what? You don't have to. I give you permission not to. Good.
I'm not going to.
Oh, hey, why don't we go to 1942?
God.
Segue.
Okay, segue. Back
1942. Okay, wasn't that movie by Spielberg with Belushi?
Oh, that was a great movie. Belushi, Aykroyd, yeah.
No,
Belushi, Aykroyd, John Candy.
The Partition.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
Can I say something about the Partition? Everyone on the web is making a big deal. Oh, they're actually bringing it up. It's we've never learned about this part of history, and Ms. Marvel's bringing it up. That's what everyone's saying. However, and this is my point of expertise, Demons of Punjab, 3 years ago, Doctor Who, same day it takes place as Ms. Marvel episode 5. Same day. We covered it.
I think that different things look at, and of course, different fandoms may not be aware of other fandoms, unlike us, who are equal opportunity geek this, and this, and this.
Absolutely. Well,
also, I would say that, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this, nicest way to say this.
You can do it, honey.
Miss Marvel, as far as covering history and all that, Miss Marvel did a better job than Doctor Who and Chris Chibnall.
I don't know. I thought Demons of Punjab. I just watched it again last night. Demons of Punjab.
Okay.
And I thought, and they're both on a personal level. The stories take place on a personal level. But I think that I thought I didn't like the episode before. Watching it last night, I actually liked Demons of Punjab much better than I did before, and I thought that it told. I thought it was the same amount of deepness. I thought they were both relevant at the same way.
The problem with Demons of the Punjab.
They had aliens, but this had clandestines. So what's the difference?
But here's the thing. I mean, that's not the problem. The problem is that Demons of the Punjab came only a few episodes after the episode Rosa.
Yeah.
And both had like the same vibe going. So basically, you had 2 episodes in like a short space of time.
They were 4 episodes apart, yeah.
Right, 4 episodes. Well, yeah, in the same season.
Yeah. I see what that is the problem, having the same type of episode in the same season.
Yeah.
But I thought story-wise, it was very educational, just like Ms. Marvel was.
Yeah, although Ms. Marvel, I think they told the same story, different viewpoints, and I don't know, just something about how Ms. Marvel did it made it, I think, a bit more accessible, a bit more.
Well, because you have people watching it from the MCU. Doctor Who is a much smaller fandom.
Yeah,
but
and
people
plus,
are
I think.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, plus, I mean, it's just the way that they did, and I think also because it wasn't like, it was more accessible. I think just the way, the presentation of it, the way that they went about it, it's just, I don't know, it's just, I think
Marvel had more money than Doctor Who to make that train sequence instead of being a farm.
See, I think that's the thing. It also, it had.
That's why it was personal, because right. But you know what? So was Miss Marvel was on a farm too, until they went to the train station.
Yeah, but see that's the thing.
They had money.
That's the thing. They had. I mean, you had. Okay. you had a greater understanding.
Okay.
Because you had the personal touch with, the farm and everything. And then by showing the train station, it's okay, here's the personal level, but then here's this big sequence to really drive home exactly what's going on.
Okay.
You're not, you actually have that visual element rather than having somebody tell you.
Right.
Rather than having somebody talk to you about it.
I'm just pointing out the fact that people are saying this is the first time that the genre has really done this. And I'm just saying, 3 years ago, just saying.
Well, if they're saying the genre, I think you could also kind of say that well, you could also kind of say that Doctor Who is sci-fi fantasy, this is superhero. So
they're talking.
Count it as two different.
I see what you're saying.
Right,
yeah,
apples
two separate genres. All right, apples and oranges.
Yeah. It is. But if we're gonna split hairs,
you're called a nerd if you watch either of them.
Yeah, which by the way, slightly incorrect. I'm a geek, and I'm damn proud of it.
Okay, you're a geek, so you eat chicken heads. Okay. You bite off the heads of chicken. Very good.
So anyway,
I'm a candy. I'm a little candy.
Yeah.
That you
here's the thing.
You're a chicken.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'd bite the heads off something else besides chickens, but I don't know where to get a bat. So.
Oh, come
on. And I heard doves are expensive.
Osborne. You are no Ozzy Osbourne, so let's stop right there.
Well, it is the thing, Mark. Is the thing. It's like I didn't say I was Ozzy Osbourne, but it's just I didn't know. It's like I woke up this morning and for some reason the color purple was everywhere. I think it just might be my blackout shades.
All right, stop.
That didn't work.
Let's go on to Aisha and her story, and how amazing was it?
Yes. Oh, so that's why we're in 1947?
That's why we're in 1942.
Is it 42 or 47?
It's 42.
Okay.
So
because India was right.
Yeah. When we start,
this is before.
And then when the British, 47 is when it did the partition.
Gotcha.
And it I found her story very, very moving. And here was someone who thought she was alone in a strange dimension.
Yeah.
And she had lost all of her family. And she met this person who was kind to her and gave her a respect for humanity that, maybe she didn't have before. Maybe she looked at humanity as beneath her. And then she meets this man who has shown her that humanity is so much more than perhaps the clandestines had ever given them a chance for. And then starts a life, has a child. And it's only when her sister shows back up and it's like, oh, shoot.
Boy. So we're still on this whole... Yeah. It's like, hey, sis, so you're still on the whole destroy humanity thing? Yeah. Because because I met this guy. He's he's kind of cute. I think he has a brother. I mean, if you're really interested, may want to give up this whole.
Nice.
It's like you may want to give up this whole destroy the world thing. Just saying, because
it is interesting that every timeline we see Najma, and she is very one trick, gotta go home, gotta go home. Not considering anything else, where Asha just finds this reason to exist where she is. And it's kind of hard to not really feel for her. And then she ends up giving her life. And I gotta tell you, I loved when you had that time, don't interact with your own timeline sort of thing, but she does anyway. And she had to, because she was the one who created the stars.
Yep.
For her grandmother to follow back to her dad, so that then her mom could be born and she could be born. And it was wonderful when that all became and I think it was fairly early on when she first got stabbed. I'm like, she's not going to be the one who produces the stars.
No.
Yeah.
And then you have Kamala, and you go, aha.
Yeah.
Aha.
Yep.
Yes.
She had to. This had to happen.
That's why she was there.
That's exactly why she was there. And I just found that entire episode very moving. You know, coming from a family of immigrants, and it I don't know, there was just something about it that really touched with my family, many of them who left Poland for security reasons. And I don't know, it really sang to me. And then I loved it because I feel like Kamala finally found her voice in the midst of that chaos.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was kind of like her turning point, really, where she suddenly knew, you know, she'd already met with the Red Dagger. She'd already dealt with the opening of the veil and dealing with all of that. And then this last piece, because she had to go follow the train.
Yeah.
Right.
And that last piece was that last little chink in the aha moment that she needed to have, that then we could have the final episode, number 6, where she is getting stronger every moment and is able to do these plans. And okay, I got to tell you, the making of the plans was just as cute as the opening sequence in episode 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love her crazy plans, which never work.
Of course,
not quite the way she planned
it.
it.
You know what? This now makes me want a scene like between her and Deadpool, because I'm thinking when Deadpool drew up the plans in Deadpool 2, you know, just imagine this massive whiteboard. And like, you know, Deadpool does a little drawing, and then Kamala like says, "Wait, but what if we do this?" You know, X's it out, draws this. You know.
Yes.
And then you know, Deadpool X's out, does a drawing, and then adds like adds like a pony for some reason. It's like, yes, we'll do this, but I'm adding a pony. You know.
Oh my God.
And Kamala just like
markers.
Yeah, the dueling mark, and Kamala like, yeah, but where are you gonna get the pony? It's like, never you mind. Friendship is magic. I'll take care of it.
I would definitely enjoy a crossover with those two. Yes, we are. But we're having fun doing it.
But it's a good off the rails because we have Kamala versus Deadpool in the dueling markers.
Yes.
No, it's not going to be versus.
No versus.
Well, okay,
they have to be friends. Their friendship is magic. They're friends.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, their friendship would be very magic and very scary.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be.
Well, and just imagine her like, you know, we don't have to kill anybody. I am underage, and you know, Deadpool just like, so what am I supposed to do now? You know, it's like, or you know, he could just break the fourth wall and be like, this is because of the rating, isn't it? Fine. You know, and you just have like, you know, a big battle scene, and then there's Deadpool giving somebody like a noogie, and you know, Kamala just staring at him and goes, "What? I'm keeping our PG rating. Noogie Patrol." You know. Come on, tell me you don't see that. Tell me you
that
don't
could be so much fun.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that she is, you know, on a different, not really a different plane, but, you know, she's a different kind of superhero, because when you think about it, we need this lovely variety of superheroes. For one, you know, when she makes the comment at the beginning, you know, it's not the brown girls from Jersey City that you see at Avenger Con.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love the fact that Marvel got more and more inclusive as time went on and added these varieties of different backgrounds, different everything. You have different religions, races, alien from planet, you know, off on the other side of the universe. You know, you just had all these different things. So people could look to these characters and find somebody. And just like Spider-Man, you know, who we right now still have in his teenage years, you know, Spider-Man said something to all the science nerds out there that they too counted and that they had a purpose. They could be a superhero even if you love science, it doesn't matter. And I love the fact that she is a dreamer.
Yeah.
Because I think that, you know, a lot of us in this world are dreamers. And you're always being told, you know, grow up and don't dream. Well, I have learned that you can be an adult, be mature, have a nice steady job, and still be a dreamer.
Oh yeah.
Because it just, and it's her ability to dream, I think, that gives her powers its strongest abilities. Because if she couldn't dream and she could not think beyond what's right in front of her face, her powers would go nowhere. She'd never be able to do anything. She'd never have any control or be able to save all those people. All those people she saved in that final fight scene, because an agent had to, at all costs, win. And anything at all costs is never good.
No.
Because innocents will die and things will go wrong. And did you really win that battle because you win? All costs are acceptable.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't. And the agents can't be, screw it, I'm already here. We're going to do this now.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like, you know, we got to get this dangerous enhanced individual, and gosh darn it, if that means I sonic rubble the school, well, so be it.
I know.
You know, well, if I have guys in SWAT gear, you know, dragging teenagers out, that's fine because we found the dangerous individual. It's like, no, it's not fine. Who said it was fine? They lied.
Yes. But she was the only one that really thought it was fine anyway.
Yeah. I'd like to do a little aside for a second. You brought up Spider-Man.
Yes.
You brought up Spider-Man and the fact that for science nerds, and he made it a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is Bruno the next Tony Stark?
Kind of feel that way, don't you?
Because he's a little too smart for his. He's kind of brainiac
too smart.
Yeah, he's really
the
smart.
fact that he knows. I mean, the mutation line and all the things he's coming up with, and you know, he does the tests.
Yeah.
Well,
and he steals a car.
And
he has a cool car. He has a cool car.
He didn't steal the car.
He didn't steal it.
Borrowed it.
He borrowed it.
He permanently borrowed until.
But he permanently borrowed a car that looks like something that Tony Stark might have driven when he was
younger. That is
Maybe.
true.
You know, although you do bring up Spider-Man, here's the thing, because a lot of people have been talking. We're starting to get enough people to do Young Avengers or the Champion.
Oh, totally.
And think about it, and see, because the other thing, because we were talking earlier, you know, imagine Kamala and Deadpool. Here's the thing: imagine Kamala and Peter.
That would work.
Like, imagine Kamala looking to Peter as her mentor, because this is Spider-Man, and imagine him just like, I don't know, you know, it's like, so is this the point where we do this? And he's just like, I don't know.
And then Bruno becomes the brains behind them.
Yeah, a lot of
I can
people
see
are
that
saying.
so happening.
A lot of people are saying that Ms. Marvel is like the new generation Spider-Man.
You know, in a way she is.
In a way.
Maybe.
There's so much of, there were these little things in it that I thought, oh God, that's so what I would expect from Spider-Man. Or it would harken back to something that I remember from early Spider-Man.
Yes.
That it just, okay. And because you have the similarity where you have a story of a teenager who suddenly has power.
Yeah.
And has to figure out how to deal with it, how to deal with family issues, how to deal with balance, you know, life superhero balance. And that's why those stories do resonate, because most of us, very few people can actually say that their teenage years went exactly the way they wanted them to.
Yes. I agree.
And I think anyone who actually says that may be lying.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
It's a difficult time for us as humans.
Oh yeah, and I still, I mean,
resonates just the way that Spider-Man did.
No, and just also, I mean, just imagine, like, I could, like, right now we have, let's see, we got Miss Marvel.
Yep.
We have Hawkeye. We have Spider-Man.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what are other, like, young heroes that we've had out there. We have, we know that Riri Williams is coming.
Yeah.
We know that, and then we did have, I know that Isaiah Bradley showed up in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right.
And so we know that, we did see his grandson. So we know that Elijah Bradley is there, and we know that and he becomes in the comics he becomes Patriot. So
right. No, I'm saying
there's the potential. Yeah, there's the potential for Patriot. So it's one of those things.
This could be really cool the way they could pull this together.
And here's the thing, because with the idea that the X-Men are now, with the idea that mutants are now in the universe, that opens up a giant pot, this giant, like this buffet of characters that then can be pulled out and just made to be a part of the world. So it's one of those things where, we could get Young Avengers, and it would be kind of interesting having, Spider-Man filling in the leadership role, or even, and I know that Trish is not a fan of this character, but maybe done right, maybe even pull a trigger and establish that Quake, Daisy Johnson, is definitely a part of the MCU. Imagine her having to be put into a mentorship role or something along those lines, where it's like you have somebody that they are now, their thing now is being the mentor, being the person that is going to be like, oh, okay, we're going to, we're doing this. We are going to have, I'm going to have to teach these kids, even if it's like with rolling in the back of the eyes and going, why?
Yeah. It might be fun to do a series for the Young Avengers as opposed to a standalone movie.
Oh no, we'd have to be a series. I would do a series.
I would absolutely do a series. I think that first of all, the quality of the series have been very good. And in some ways, it's just worked so much better than having to do those origin story movies, which sometimes can just get too much on the origin story. So by having a series, and like we know she's going to be in the film The Marvels,
right?
Which will be
so
much fun. That leads to your secret little
our secret, the mid credit sequence.
Not so much a secret, or
no, it was a secret. Everyone knows it now.
Everyone knows.
But it was rumored. There was a rumor that this was going to happen, and the way it happened was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Well, I actually like that.
But what was the rumor, though, Mark?
Just that she was gonna come in and talk with. See, the whole thing was they were going to interact, and that didn't happen, did it? They did not interact.
No, they didn't.
No.
They did. I have to admit. What I was hoping was that they would set up a scene where Carol shows up and it's just like, oh, so you're the kid everybody's talking about.
That was the rumor.
Although here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. Especially since we're a trio of Marvelites. So I can bring this up. So the end credits scene, the scene in the mid credits has what seems to be the bangle. The bangle starts doing a weird glow thing. And then Kamala disappears. And it looks like in her place is Carol Danvers.
It seemed like they switched places, which probably means that Kamala is on a far distant planet somewhere in the middle of
but then here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing though. Okay, so it seems like a setup to what happened in the comics with Marvel, where for the longest time Marvel was connected to
Rick
Jones, and they'd swap out. They'd swap out. They'd clash the negabands together and swap out.
Very good. Yes.
So the question, though, here's the question. Question for the panel. Is it, there's one of two things that could be happening here. Thing one is we get a variation of the Marvel Rick Jones situation.
Okay.
Thing two did Kamala somehow transform into Carol Danvers?
Interesting.
Like, did they swap, or what happened was Kamala somehow, the bangle made her change her appearance?
The reaction after it happened, the Carol Danvers or whatever that's there is in the room, is looking around, and she kind of goes, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
So that kind of makes me think maybe it is Kamala.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Of course,
it's not the Rick Jenkins thing, but yeah.
And I know that I think I saw one comment on social media that was all like, "Oh, okay, so they're giving lip service to a couple of classic characters, but not using the classic characters." Like they were just doing like a figurative eye roll, and
I hate when they do that.
But that's also the reason why I bring up, could it be that was Kamala? Because it's like, dude, like, how about this? This is obviously a setup for the Marvels.
Yes.
Right.
Well, that's why it said she'll return in the Marvels. Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing. It's like, it's obviously like, even without the Kamala will return in the Marvels, like even without that.
Oh, something had to happen.
It's obviously a setup for the Captain Marvel sequel.
Yeah.
So it's like, before you judge and you start with this whole lame, they're just borrowing from this, but they're not using the original characters. How about wait until the movie gets out, wait till they have a scene together, and see what happens.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. And
no,
here's the other...
I think we've gotten to the point where we're too busy trying to second guess everything.
Yeah.
And it does make me sad, because it's like, let me see what they do. I might like it.
See what they do. And okay, yes, Kamala didn't have the stretchy powers. They instead gave her kind of energy-based powers. But
she did stretchy with the energy.
Yeah. But my thing,
it's not the actual power.
Yeah, my thing with this is, okay, so they changed her powers, but
they also made her immune.
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
The thing is that, was her character intact?
Yes.
Does she still feel like the Kamala? You don't have to answer, Mark.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're being rhetorical. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like, is the character, the whole point of the exercise is her character the character that we got from the comics? Does she still act like can you read a comic with Kamala in it and say, oh yeah, just like the TV show, or vice versa?
Yeah.
That, I think that is the important thing here. And the powers are similar to the ones she had in the comic. They're not exact, but they're similar. So that's my thing. My thing is that, we had, yes, there were some differences, but the character stayed the same.
Yeah.
Her outfit is very much, her outfits were very much like the comics.
I can actually agree to that. I can actually agree to that, because, like I said, I read the first some odd pages of the comic, and it has a very close feel. There are certain things, elements that are touched upon and work in both. At the end of episode 6, before the credits, when she's sitting on top of the lamppost, that's a complete, that image completely came from the comic. That is a full-on representation of an image in the comic. There are so many things about the comic and the show that are the same. It is the same. It's the same thing. Yeah, they tweak it. Every show, every Marvel movie has had a tweak to get it to work in a television and movie situation. You can't just go comic has to be the comic. It doesn't work. Sometimes you can't tell a good story that way. Sometimes it's not realistic enough. We were talking about the costumes earlier. You have to make changes. You have to.
Yes.
You can't have the same. It can't be the same in every medium. Nothing can. It's got there are differences.
No. And then the other, but jumping to something else.
Okay.
Because I do want to bring this. I do want to bring this up, especially given the revelation in Miss Marvel, the fact that the doors open for mutants. this means sooner rather than later we'll be getting mutant characters. We'll be getting the X-Men.
Yes.
I'm going to do a hot take right now.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm going to do a hot take, which is I don't want, when they finally do, as we get the X-Men, I honestly would honestly, if we have to wait for, Wolverine is not part of the stuff from the beginning, I don't mind.
No.
Like, I don't care. Because
here's to 1963.
Right. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, it would be interesting if they use like the original, the original 5. If they start with the original 5, they don't have to. It could be like in the case of First Class, where they kind of, just cherry pick and use characters that haven't had like their spot, day in the sun yet.
Yeah.
Right.
But honestly, what I don't want is, here's the thing, the franchise is called The X-Men. It is not the Wolverine show.
Right.
It is not Wolverine and Friends.
The Wolverine show?
Well, I'd watch that too.
I watch
but only
it.
if Hugh Jackman was in it.
Well, see, that's the thing. But I mean, see, here's the thing, because it's like, and then the other hot take I'm going to do is when they're coming up with stories that they want to do for like, the X-Men movies, I would say do not do Dark Phoenix.
Yes,
I think
I agree.
The problem the problem with it is that it has been done twice. It has been done poorly. And honestly, I think before you touch Dark Phoenix, give poor Jean Grey something to do with her character.
Yeah.
Just because look, I will say that Dark Phoenix is one of the seminal X-Men stories.
Yeah.
That is not deniable. That is not, that is undeniable. Okay. But also, okay, it's not, there are, one of the things that makes it work is, Jean Grey herself.
Right.
We had until Dark Phoenix, until Dark Phoenix, until the Dark Phoenix saga, we had what, a decade or so of stories where Jean has been able to be a character.
Right. And
that's the problem. They pull out Dark Phoenix, but the thing is that Jean Grey is such a like blank slate. That it's like what you're basically saying is she's not a character unless it involves Dark Phoenix.
Right.
Which is a disservice. It's a giant disservice.
Ed,
yeah.
Another reason they shouldn't do Dark Phoenix, because all right, you do need to have who Jean Grey is. You need that.
Yeah.
But do you remember the lead up, the long, slow burn lead up to Dark Phoenix with the Hellfire Club? That's kind of it's integral to the story of Dark Phoenix. You can't just have Dark Phoenix happen.
Yeah. Well, but the other thing that gets it is the fact that I read an article once. It was either an article or it was a social media post from one of the comic book guys that I follow on Twitter.
Okay.
And there was a basic problem with both versions of the Dark Phoenix saga film-wise. And that's Dark Phoenix, the Dark Phoenix saga, as a Marvel story was Jean Grey's story.
Yes. Yeah.
It was Jean Grey's story. The problem with both film versions is that the focus was not on Jean Grey. The focus was on the rest of the cast being like, holy crap, Jean's gone insane.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and
it's not
thing,
about...
It's a long, complicated story.
Yeah.
And trying to shorten it into a movie and having all these, I mean, it's not, you're right, it's not an ensemble movie, and it would be a good serial, a TV show, miniseries.
Yeah.
It would be, but it would have to be with her as the focus. Anything else, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Anything else, you're going to lose what's important, because then it just makes it a side character. And unless you're familiar with the comic story. You're going to, everyone who's seen those two movies are going, what?
Right.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, before she became a Dark Phoenix, her mind was basically damaged because of what was going on at the Hellfire Club. She was losing herself for a couple of years. I mean, this was at least 12 issues. I mean, it was longer than a year.
Yeah.
It was...
Well, and also, like, again, going back to my original point with this. Okay, I'll admit, Wolverine is a very popular character.
Yeah,
that's true. At the same time, the weakness would be to, again, make it the Wolverine show.
Yeah.
Especially because what happens is, so, like, for example, one of the things, one of the subplots that gets pulled out is the love triangle between Scott, Jean, and Wolverine.
Right.
Yeah.
And the problem is that also it's making Scott, making Wolverine cool, and then Scott ends up basically being a block of wood. And then you're like, well, what does Jean see in him? So it's like, I would say that, if you're gonna do MCU X-Men, give Scott something to show people, why are Scott and Jean together? This is why. This is why Scott and Jean are together. Show us why Scott is, why is it that Jean picks Scott?
I think it's the thing that the MCU is doing better now than it did when we got, and I realize it's not really the MCU, but the original X-Men movies, which I enjoyed very much. But some of the things that they get better now is, first of all, I think that there's an absolute respect for the fans of all the mediums, whether like I could picture the MCU dealing with X-Men, whether you're talking the comic books or even some of the various animated versions, they would respect that, and they would try to, because the characters are, it's funny, you go back and you watch the movies that I enjoyed all those years ago, but they now feel very two-dimensional compared to the characters we get in the MCU now.
No. Well, and also it's like you have a little bit of this in the X-Men movies, and you have a little bit of it in other films, pre-MCU, where we're going to use a character name.
Yes.
But we're going to change this and this about the character. Oh, but we use this character name, so we're cool, right? And it's like, no, we're not, because that's not the character.
Not if it erases everything that it is.
Yeah.
If you're going to pick and choose bits and pieces of the history of that character from over the course of what could be, multiple decades.
Yeah.
I can respect that. But if you take someone who is this character, and this is why it's important, and blah, 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 and you just swap it with another character, but swap the names, it gets very confusing for the fans.
Yeah. Well, it's like when they change the third X-Men movie, Last Stand.
Yeah.
Had, I think they used the name Psylocke, but the character did not. That was Psylocke in name only. I mean, at least, say what you will about Olivia Munn in X-Men Apocalypse. At least visually, you're like, oh yeah, that's Psylocke. And again,
it was closer to it in many ways.
It wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was closer. It was closer than the last time.
I kind of feel like, I know I already kind of said this, but it's one of the things that the MCU and Disney is doing right. When you have a series like Ms. Marvel, and they're pulling from one version of the Ms. Marvel character, and even though there is some divergence, we, the fans, are enjoying what they're giving us, and we're feeling it. And it's like they seem to have gotten it, and all the various other companies that have been involved with comic book movies over the last I don't know how many years that goes back. Longer than I've been alive. But they really pay attention, and they really look into things on, well, oh, look, we've got this character. Look what they can do. How would that add to the story? And, that's how they can have like Endgame with all these different characters, but it still works. And then you can have these TV series like the Ms. Marvel, the WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier. And they're so enjoyable for us to watch and enjoy and go, yes, okay, more please.
Yeah.
And I feel like the other people involved with superhero films are just not feeling that same way or thinking that well.
Well, I feel like in some cases, what we get is, I feel like when it comes to adapting things, I feel like we get two different schools.
Yes.
School number one is where you have a fan and it's like, yeah, this is awesome. I love, let me see what I can bring in from my childhood, from my love of this stuff. Thing number two is somebody who is given the key, he's given the toy box, and then he looks at, they look at the stuff, that they're, that they're working on. And then they go, okay, what am I going to change first? And so you end up with this stuff of like, where you get characters in name only, but then they change all this stuff and they're, and then when you hear about it, it's like, well, I really couldn't go with this. So I thought, oh, let me change it because it'll be a lot cooler. And I'm just like, shut up. Then why'd you pick it to begin with?
Okay. I don't know where to go from there.
Oh, shit.
Okay, guys, we're gonna probably end the show here. We hope you enjoyed listening to the Mark Who 42's Universe podcast. I just want to mention, we've been talking Ms. Marvel Cinematic Universe at Disney Plus. Just let you guys know, on August 10th, Wednesday, I Am Groot premieres on Disney Plus. 5 shorts. Even though it's not considered part of the story proper, they are, according to Marvel and Disney Plus, it is part of Phase 4. So the stories may not tie into the MCU, but they fit in somehow. And then the following Wednesday, August 17th, a show that I'm looking forward to very, very much, She-Hulk Attorney at Law. That should be good.
Yes. And you know what? Honestly, please, God, tell me that they're basing it off Dan Slott's stuff.
Well, they're gonna have the breaking the fourth wall. So it does.
Okay, but I hope
love it.
I hope please tell me it's gonna be Dan Slott, the Dan Slott John Byrne stuff, because
I'm hoping that too. Yeah.
Really, because really seriously, like we already had the Hulk smash.
No. This is comedy. Puny humans. This is gonna be funny. This is gonna be a silly show. Not
good,
silly,
honestly.
Yes, funny.
Yes, because that's the thing. We need She-Hulk is a lighthearted character.
Oh, totally.
We need. Does it need to have the fourth wall breaks? No. If it has the fourth wall breaks, that'd be great. But come on, do that.
What was the point of Savage She-Hulk? It's the Hulk.
Well, it's the Hulk. It's the Hulk, but it's a lady.
It's a lady Hulk.
That's the thing. Okay. Hey, Hulk spinoff, but with a lady.
So is that like the Red Hulk is the Hulk but red?
Oh.
There you go.
And Mr. Fix-It is the Hulk with brains and a mobster. And
there you go.
All right. And they're just playing with it. I'm just playing. Okay, so we're gonna go. Can I have?
It's gonna be fabulous. I've already decided.
It's gonna be fabulous. Can we have final words from everyone? Vicky.
Enjoy Ms. Marvel. It is a fabulous series, and I actually can't wait to see her in The Marvels.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Ed?
Love this series. It was an utter joy to watch. And yeah, I can't wait for the Marvels to see her interact with her hero. And hey, even Monica Rambeau being thrown into the mix.
Yeah. Should all be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So until next time, this is Mark Baumgarten, Vicky Jakubowski, and Eduardo M. Freyre, even though I'm not really all three of them, but they're all here, saying goodbye, and we'll see you next time on the Mark Who 42's Universe podcast and Mark Who 42's Universe on Subspace Radio. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, you're definitely not all three of us because, dude, you're not Mark Spector, man.
You're
not Mark
big.
Spector.
I'm not that big, remember?
Yeah, you're not, and you're not Mark Spector, dude. You can't pull the.
I'm not Stephen Grant.
You're not Stephen Grant. You're not Mark Spector.
Keep going.
You're not. You know, you're not Jake Lockley. You're not the Fist of Khonshu.
There you go.
You're not Mr. Knight. You're none of that. Okay.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening to Mark Who 42's Universe, with hosts Mark Baumgarten, Eduardo M. Freyre, Zion Quiros, and Vicky Jakubowski. This program was produced and directed by Mark Baumgarten. If you'd like to get in touch with us, please go to our Facebook page or email us at markwho42s.universe@gmail.com. You can listen to old shows at our website, markwho42.com, or even our YouTube page, markwho42. Mark Who 42's Universe, copyright 2022.